Hello, friends. I have a special message for you this Memorial Weekend, and that is we need to teach our children to love America. I was standing on the sidewalk preparing to cross the street with Debbie, and a little boy, about 5 years old, marched right up to me and stuck his hand out. I realized he wanted to shake my hand, so I shook that little hand and was pleased to meet him. And then I turned to his mother with surprise in my eyes. And the mother said to me, "He saw your veterans hat, and he just wanted to come up and thank you for your service." I floated across that street. Not only was I gratified by that little boy's handshake, but by the fact that his mother had the sense and the character to begin at a young age teaching that boy to love his country. Peggy Noonan is a respected opinion columnist and, as a matter of fact, is my favorite. And she penned a thought-provoking article for this Memorial Weekend. It's entitled, "Teach Your Children to Love America." I think it demands your attention. I think you should seek out this article in the Wall Street Journal. It is certainly worth the purchase of the journal for this time to get that article. It's a must-read. I strongly encourage you to check it out. But let me, in this time, give you some key points that I received from it. She makes the case that in the past decade and more, our children have been taught that America is a bully. A racist bully, and it's a dark place. And then she rightly says this: to kids from difficult circumstances, it means there is no hope. You won't escape a violent or unhappy family into a better place, the world outside, because it isn't better. The world outside is America, which brutalizes the minority, the woman, the different. Inside is scary, but outside is scarier. What a thing to do to vulnerable kids. To kids from easier circumstances, it does nothing good and carries a subtle bad effect. It means the thing you're part of is, at its heart, corrupt. So you might as well be corrupt. The ugliness of America becomes a permission structure. We are amoral, and you can be too. Well, that's a sad commentary, but Peggy Noonan is right. We are a nation with a birthday. We are a nation with a foundation of faith. We are a nation that declares on their money, "In God we trust." She refers to teaching children about Longfellow's Paul Revere's Ride and Emerson's Concord Hymn, by rude bridge that arched the flood. Their flag to April breeze unfurled. Here once the embattled farmers stood and fired the shot heard round the world. To tell about Plymouth Rock, that here on this rock, on this sterile soil, began the kingdom not of kings, but men, began the making of the world again. America has some dark spots. It has some spots in its feasts and some foul-smelling history. But the grand idea of America is still freedom and hope. People are not rushing to get into communist countries. They rush toward the light of freedom. They rush toward the light of hope. Teach your children about freedom. Give them dreams and let their hearts soar to the possibilities they have in this nation. Teach them about the dream of MLK. Teach them about Abraham Lincoln. Teach them about George Washington. Teach them about Benjamin Franklin. Tell them about John F. Kennedy, Amelia Earhart, the Tuskegee Airmen, and Dwight Eisenhower. Take them to patriotic parades and celebrations and explain the beauty of our flag and of our nation. Tell them about a great Civil War that was fought, and in the end, in 1885, when Ulysses S. Grant died. There on each side of his casket General Johnston and Buckner on one side of his bier, Sherman and Sheridan up on the other. The first two were generals of the Confederate Army, and the last two of the Union Army. Henry Ward Beecher wrote that their marching Grant to his tomb was a silent symbol that liberty had conquered slavery and peace war. As Peggy Noonan rightly says, you come away from that thinking not only what men, but what a country that could tear itself in two, murder itself, forgive itself, and go on. Indeed, what a nation. Tell the children the worst of us eventually brought out the best of us. Tell your children to raise their heads high and be proud when that flag is unfurled, for it is the symbol of freedom and hope. As I wrote a poem nearly 35 years ago and still feel the same. The flag is more than cloth. It is people, hope, war, peace. It is sacrifice and pride. It is our nation embroidered and raised to the sky. I pray you have a blessed weekend and you realize that there are those in the grave today who earned the freedom we enjoy this weekend. May God bless you richly. Amen.